And we are live. It is December the 29th of the year 2022. And I'm not only your host, but so is Ken Walls. It's the Ken and Glenn Show. And now, without any further ado, put your hands together for Ken and Glenn.
Dude, I've got to get our opening video remade. You know why?
Tell me.
That was made prior to me being a movie star also.
Oh, see that? Ken's life has changed because 2 short weeks ago, he appeared in his first feature film, and his mood ever since can be described as belligerent, insufferable, arrogant, and even rude.
Oh my God. Wow. Ouch. I mean, just because I refuse to sign your buttocks.
Look at my butt ox. Look, Leanne. Leanne still loves us. This is the only reason, by the way, we went on tonight. We went on tonight to see if anyone still loves us.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Leanne is, Jose's here.
Jose
and he shared it.
Yes.
He shared it. Hey, happy December, Ken, and happy welcome to Texas. Yeah. This is our first show since you have now hung your hat in the great Lone Star State. So welcome. It's not new. You've been here a little bit, but
a month and a half.
Yeah, but 6 weeks into it, welcome.
Thank you, man. I love it here.
Well, how can you not?
I mean, and you've been to our little town square. Need I say more?
The town of Salina.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is absolutely.
It sounds like a cross between saliva and something else. Okay.
Sandy said, "Of course we do."
Hi, Sandy.
That's so sweet. Thank you, Sandy.
McNichol in the house.
So, Glenn, you have had a busy 22, my friend.
Some sort of year, baby. And I would have done like an early evening thing with you tomorrow, except that tomorrow is our 44th wedding anniversary.
Oh my gosh, yeah, happy anniversary.
Thank you. Here in like an hour and 5 minutes. And I feel like we're going to make it. I feel like we're going to make it till then. Honey, are we going to last another hour 5? She's sleeping. And that's how you do it, kids. Just so you know, if you want to hit any milestone, one of the two of you just sleep the remainder of the way. That's how it's done. So it's 44 years. Thank you.
That is amazing, dude.
We got married when we were 19 and 18, and I was having lunch. We were having lunch today with a couple of our students. Juan Fiol was with us. Haven't seen Juan in a while, and Perry and Mitchell.
Wow.
Mercedes was with us. Of course, Mitchell and Mercedes are a couple, and they're down here back home visiting relatives. Their current home is Grand Rapids, Michigan. So they're back here. Darlene in the house. How nice. How nice.
I
need
know.
to share this, Ken. I need to share this and have some people know that we're
and
on tonight.
I wonder what it would take to get everybody watching to share this to their Facebook feed also. I mean, I
don't even think it would be a big deal. I think it would be very easy for people to do.
I know. Well, it's easy for them to do. Sometimes it's difficult to convince them to hit that share button and share it.
Nothing's difficult. This is what I've decided. Nothing's difficult. We just do it.
There you go. There you go. Oh, Leanne shared before we even asked. That's how Australians roll. And Jose shared it too before we asked. And let's see, Darlene has now shared it. Robert has shared it. Thank you so much. So, Glenn, you have had quite an amazing year, and we'll talk about that in a moment. There is the one, the only Scott Ricard is joining us. What is happening, Scott? Good evening. And Leanne said,
"That's can I just share it from your page, Ken?"
Yes, you can share it from my page. What's going on, my ninja? Adam Marburger. Dude, how in the world are you doing, man? Ken Walls equals what are those gold medals? I'm a gold medalist. Yes, I always wanted a gold medal. Thank you, bro. I love you too, man.
Can you share it to the Extra Mile page, brother?
I can. Not only can I will.
You will. You'll do that.
I will do it right now, man. Both of them, both Extra Mile pages?
Yeah, sure. Why not? And okay. I want to offer a plug that you are interviewing Kara Rayner tomorrow.
I am interviewing. Oh, I'm so excited about that.
I have no bigger talent than Kara Rayner in the workshop. She's been with us for many years. And Kara, as you know, but your team, your family, our family here may not know this, Kara just completed a lead in a film that Ken is also a movie star in. But Kara was the female lead in the movie. And I was so proud of her because the director, they were looking to fill in some of the slots, and they had some offers out to celebrity talent in Los Angeles. And sometimes you get those celebs and sometimes you don't. And you always have someone ready to go in the event that you don't get the celebrity you dreamed of. And sometimes the budget for a celeb is a little more than the movie has. So they always look at celebs and backups. So that deal fell through, and so it was now available for casting out of the area. Which
look who's on, dude! Look who's watching.
Oh, Jay's here.
Jay,
how cool! How wonderful,
man!
Wouldn't be shocking. Wouldn't be shocking if we had Jay come visit us, and he can share. Well, give us a few minutes. We haven't seen him. Yeah. We got to talk. We got to say hello, and then we'll bring a guest on. But Jay, auditioned several of the actresses, and Kara was the one that was chosen for the role. And so we're really excited. And I don't know, Jay, if Ray is up, but if he's up, let him know. This is the show that Ken and I have done for several years. And we haven't done it recently. We've both been so busy. But I think, hey, Ken, I'm going to go public with this. You ready?
Yes.
I'm going to make this announcement. I'm ready to roll with the Ken and Glenn show again.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I'm just saying that. I did not tell Ken that. Did not tell him I was thinking about it. So I'm going to make that announcement. I'm basically dropping to one knee, and I'm proposing to Ken. Right now, I'm letting him know that there has always been a Ken and Glenn that has never ceased to exist. We just haven't been doing the show. But that "and" is a very real thing in my life. This is not said as a joke, brother. I want you to know that Ken and Glenn, the "and" is very huge. And so I want to ask this question. Now I'm going to go deep. If you don't mind, I'm going to go deep. Who is the "and" in your life? And if you're really fortunate, who are they? Maybe it's plural. Maybe there are some people where you say it's Ken and Glenn, it's Bob and Paul, it's Debbie and Betty, it's Bobby and David. And these are people who just are in your extreme inner circle, and they have earned a place there, and you have earned a place in their extreme inner circle. So I want you to know that I took this time away to do the things that I needed to do. And I love this show, and I feel like we can do some really good stuff this year. So there's my happy new year. I'm ready to come back with. Look, Delilah is here.
Delilah,
come on with it.
Come on with it, dude. I'm trying to. Now let me preface this, Jay. I'm going to send Jay the link because I would love to have him come on and talk just to say hi. But Jay, we may not bring you on right away. You may have to sit in the green room and watch.
No, we'll bring you on pretty soon.
Yeah, I'd love to have Jay. He's awesome. I mean,
but I want Jay to reach out to Ray if Ray doesn't go beddy by at 11 p.m. And it's a holiday, so nobody needs to be going to bed at 11 p.m. on the holidays.
No,
so
definitely don't go to bed at
every
11.
One of us can sleep in.
That's right. Dude, I totally, Jay says he's on his phone. That is perfectly okay, my brother. You've got an iPhone. So all you do is open that link up in Safari. And
I think he's saying that he's reaching out as we speak.
Oh, on his phone to Jay.
He's reaching out to Ray is what I think he's doing.
Or Ray. So, okay. So you introduced me to Jay. I met Jay first. He was the director, right? Director.
Yeah,
I still am trying to get writer. All of the
and writer
of the movie.
Correct.
And then
and buddy Justin wrote the film together, and they allowed me to jump in with them in the writer's room and offer some additional thoughts. And we have a movie, is what we have.
So incredible. And so everybody watching, it was filmed in East Texas, and
a little town called Longview.
Yeah. And I met Ray as well, and I kept getting their Ray and Jay they're kind of similar.
Yeah. Well, with Ray and Jay, things tend to go astray. I'm just saying.
But
depending on what day. Now, let me tell you, if you're ever in the car with Jay, he does this. It's such a goofy Southern thing. It's not original. It's been around forever, but it's whenever you drive by hay, whether it's in a field or on a truck, and you go, hey, it's so stupid. And he actually did it to me in the car. He goes, hey, and I knew what he was doing, and I still went for it. I went, oh, God. Yeah, it's just a funny thing. So for you people who want to just get a nasty look from a loved one or a friend, just when you're driving by hay in a field or a hay truck, just go, hey.
Oh, my gosh, that is so funny.
Delilah liked that.
Delilah's awesome.
So happy 2022. Yes, indeed, Ken. This was the greatest single year of my life.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting how everyone's convinced next year's going to be better. Next year, can't wait for this year to end. Can we talk about a few of our pet peeves about the whole New Year's thing?
Yes.
So I have a pet peeve, and my pet peeve.
What is your pet peeve?
Well, I have several, but I want to air out this one in particular, which is that, and things don't easily chap my butt. They don't. I'm a real easygoing fella, but every so often something chaps my butt. And I think what chaps my butt more than anything is when something is not seemingly bothersome to the rest of the world when it's really not cool. And that tends to chap my butt. In other words, I tend to be the defender of things not noticed. So I think it's interesting that it doesn't seem to be noticed how much the week between December 24th and New Year's gets overlooked. It's the most overlooked week of the year, every year, bar none. And the reason is, as soon as it reaches Christmas, the minute Christmas is over, people are thinking January 1. And they start talking about how it's going to be better next year and what we're going to do and can't wait the new year. And we got to get this one out of here. And then there are very few people who will tell you at the end of the year, this year has been spectacular. And, it doesn't have to have set any records in order to have been a spectacular year. What if it's the year you got your butt kicked but learned something?
Right.
What if that's what the year offered you? You got your butt kicked, but you're a better person for it because you're now crystal clear on what to do or not to do or how to be or not be. And so you've got an education with you going into this new year that you didn't have previously. So you've acquired something. And whether a year is easygoing or has some speed bumps to it should not be the criteria by which we define whether or not a year was a quality year. This was one of those stellar years, but hey, the reality is we still have the 30th and the 31st. It's not New Year's yet.
Right.
And these could be two of the most significant days of your life. And while I'm at it, I'm going to list two pet peeves. The other one is this idea that January 1st is somehow going to magically create your new life for you. No, it is not. Right? That day is not charged any more than any other day is charged, other than with the charge of your thinking. But here's the deal. I'm going to predict everyone's future in this room at this time. Ready? There's a bold claim.
Here we go.
If you do the same stuff you've been doing, you're going to have a strikingly similar year. There it is. Just keep doing what you've been doing, and you'll have a strikingly similar year. It may not be identical, but it's going to be damn close. If you want a new and better year, let's even use the word bigger. If you want a bigger year, here's the formula. A bigger year requires bigger thinking. A better year requires increased intentionality, increased discipline, better decisions. You want a better year? Make better decisions. I don't have to be a psychic to make that prediction. That's what better years are made of. They're made of better decisions. They're made of stronger commitment to whatever it is you wish to achieve in your life. Just elevate your intentionality, elevate your commitment to it. Be more mindful. So I gave my students a 3-word sentence, which is kind of a motto for the year, and I want to share it with the room tonight. And that motto is conscious consideration of consequences. Right? Now, the short way to describe that is mindfulness, but specifically 3 C's, conscious consideration of consequences. And all that means is that in this choice consequence world we live in, cause and effect, everything is choice, consequence, cause and effect, that if we, instead of just choosing the experience we want, right, or the feeling we want, we get so caught up in the feelingness of the world, and instead we turn our attention to the consequence we want, not just the feeling. Okay, so I want to choose that experience. Yes, great, that's fine. Choose the experience, but hold on, before you pull back the curtain and reveal the thing it is that you think you want, just understand that comes with consequences. And consequences are not necessarily bad.
Right?
They're just as often they're good.
Yeah.
But the point is, there is going to be a consequence. There is going to be a price tag, if you will. So I think that human beings do have a tendency to choose experiences assuming that there will be no price tag. And I don't want to start taking people's inventory right and left, but I can think of a lot of habits that exist in this world that if the price tag of that habit had been considered prior to forming the addiction to that habit, if truly the price tag were the thing you looked at and thought, nope, that's too high a price on my life. Yeah. Why? Because I love my life. I not only love my life, I love life. Period. Mine and yours, Ken. Yeah. I love everybody's life. I find that I love some people's lives more than they love their own lives. And I think that's what makes someone a good coach, is when your level of caring exceeds the very person you're training. And you're basically helping people learn to love themselves as much as you love them. Does that make sense? End of rant, but yeah. I want to see if that ignites some conversation. So that's my pet peeve. I'm not a big fan of, starting January 1st. Look, whatever you were going to start January 1st, how about this? Go ahead and start it now.
Start now.
Get a 2-day head start on it. Why are you waiting January 1st?
On my show, I always ask at the end, I ask this 2 questions, but one in particular. I say, what do you think? And I had a great answer to this a couple of days ago. Was not that anybody else's isn't great, but this one in particular was like, oh my gosh, that was really different. What do you think stops people from achieving real financial success? And I always throw in, I've been broke and homeless, and I've been wealthy, and wealthy is better. So, real financial success and excuse me, happiness, freedom in life. And this guy says, I love this answer. He says, taking a chance. People are terrified to take a chance. And dude, I literally sat there for a moment like, wow, that was actually a really good answer. Because it's true. It's true. People, you just said it. People think that January 1st of 2023, their Superman cape is going to suddenly appear, and they're going to have all this courage to go take a chance on the things that they've wanted to take a chance on for, a lifetime. I think that's it.
I think it's spot on. And, I want to give you this analogy that look who's here. Paul's here with us. Hey, Paul
is here.
So here is and it's late in Paul's world. It's midnight in Toronto. It's after midnight.
Hey, I have somebody else here too.
Look at
you. Haven't even noticed.
Is Jay here?
Hey guys.
There he be.
How you guys doing?
There's my buddy. There's my buddy that I miss.
That's right. It's been over a week, man. I've been having withdrawals ever since.
On Saturday, it'll be 2 weeks, Bubba.
I know, man.
We're sitting here at the 12-day mark. I'm assuming the editing will not even begin until after the 1st.
That's correct.
Yeah, I didn't expect that he would dive in immediately, but I'm really excited about beginning to see the puzzle being assembled. Will you tell our audience about our movie? Because this will be its first plug online live like this. I mean, a number of us have posted on Facebook and stuff, and it's still probably 11 months away. I'm guessing we won't wait till Christmas, but probably try to get it out Thanksgiving-ish, between Thanksgiving and Christmas. But tell them about the movie, Jay.
Correct.
I'm going to give you full screen here and there, Jay. So
look at there, right to full screen.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Well, Grumpy Old Santa is a romantic comedy about two middle-aged men. They were best friends. One of the friends is a pastor, and the other friend is an old field worker, and they love to fish and bowl, and just good old East Texans. One of them's wife, after they become empty nesters, ends up leaving him, and we follow the life of recovering from that in a funny and heartfelt way.
Maybe if I frown right now, they'll be able to figure out who was the one that got left.
Oh, no, that ain't the cry I saw. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. I mean, poor Glenn, I think we worked him to the bone. I know I was tired when it was done, but it was a good tired. It was a fun tired. We had a wonderful crew and talent working with us, Carol being one of them, which I guess she'll be on tomorrow night. Excited
tomorrow
morning.
Tomorrow morning.
This
morning,
is
11 a.m.
It's a different show. It's Ken's special show called Breakthrough Walls.
Okay, that's the one.
Just Ken and Kara talking.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. Okay, cool. And what's the other question? Kimberly was great. We just had a really good talent. I mean, everybody just put their whole heart, mind, and soul into the project. Ray can't make it. I think he's actually in Dallas. I think his wife is having surgery in the morning. I didn't try.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So I didn't even try. So I just want to let you know that. But Ray's my good buddy, and one of the character that Glenn played is actually loosely based on Ray and another friend. The hardworking, middle class, big hearted, love giant. I mean, is what I'd call them. They'd do anything for anybody to give you the shirt off their back. And I think the story deals with the reality that sometimes when people, build their lives around their kids, sometimes a couple can get, they can lose each other. And having gone through that myself, it's not always easy to get over, and it takes a lot of work, and you just both have to be willing to. And I think the story, I don't want to get too much into the whole storyline because I want everybody to watch it, but it's a good message, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully it's one of those films people want to watch every year. That's my goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in order to hear the Christmas message, they're going to have to get over seeing Ken, who's in the movie in a very small background part, but let's face it, a sex symbol nonetheless. And they're going to have to get over him being a sex symbol in order to really get the Christmas message. Sometimes you have someone with that much sex appeal that comes in, and it temporarily derails the audience from what the intended focus of the movie was.
Well, I mean, we almost had to reshoot that scene a third time because he was there.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
And I know that he left the scene for a little bit. Everybody said, "May just put it on hold. Wait, Ken's not here. Can't have a movie without Ken there." But the movie was really a dream come true for me because while it's my fourth film, it's the first one I directed, and it's something I've always wanted to do. And I had talented people like Glenn and others helping me in my first directing debut. And it was just a family atmosphere. I would work with each individual if I get a chance again. It was a wonderful experience.
I want to ask you a question about that, Jay. Wasn't it, at the end of the day, didn't it come down to, I'm sure there were many things you went through en route to it, but at some point you had to just decide, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. And there's no more hemming and hawing about it, or could I, or should I, am I ready? You just go. And the beautiful thing about the heavens have a grand capacity to be able to bring the angels that we need our way. Absolutely. In order to escort us through. I really believe that. My whole life has been based on the whole jump out the window and grow wings on the way down level of faith,
I agree 100%. I've taught my kids to follow their dreams, and we have to live by example. And if I don't follow my dreams, how can I expect them to follow their dreams? And I also believe that it is something God put on my heart, specifically a love for filmmaking. Because when we started off, me and Ray actually started off doing small projects back in the early 2000s, and life gets in the way, and this is the first one me and him have been able to work with in probably 15 years, which was kind of cool. And he had a blast, Ray being one of my best friends. But I think you're right. I think that if it's on your heart and God puts it on your heart, he's going to find a way for you to do it. And I've been blessed to be able to not only come up with a story that I think is compelling, but I also think that people will get a good message out of it too. And hopefully, like I said, it will enjoy it enough that they'll want to see it every year.
You guys haven't even mentioned.
I've been noticing who you've been posting. I was going to ask Jay if he saw that Bridget is watching.
I did see Bridget.
No, I want the other big star. You had Glenn. You had another big star that was Glenn's buddy. I mean, that's a pretty big name.
Kevin.
Right?
Kevin
Yeah.
Tell him about Kevin Farley.
Man, Kevin, he is. I don't think we could have picked a better person to play the Chris, who is the pastor in the film and the best friend. I mean, him and Glenn, they seem like they've known each other for years, and this was the first day. I mean, Glenn had been on site or been filming for a couple of days, and Kevin shows up. I mean, we do a fishing scene, and it was like these two guys have been hanging out all their lives. It was magic. Kevin is just funny too, naturally funny. Even when he looks like he's messing up, he doesn't seem like he's messing up. It's just funny, but in a heartfelt way.
Yeah, and in that sense, every bit the talent that his brother was, and an eerily similar appearance to Chris.
Absolutely,
like twins.
Yeah, except I think Kevin is a different type, a little bit different type of, in my opinion, comedy. Maybe a little more. How would I put this? A little more mature. It might be a better way to put it. Not so loud, but more of a. I mean, he is a Green Bay Packer fan, but we forgive him for that. But just an overall nice guy.
That's funny.
I want to say hi to Emmy Swayze. You know her as E-Man.
Okay.
So, Ken, that's E-Man from the group who has moved to LA, and she's got kind of a hip new name. I like it.
Love
Especially
that.
if you want to win an Emmy. Why not just name yourself Emmy? I mean, what a quick way. Look, Daryl's watching us from Los Angeles.
Hey, Daryl.
The quickest way to get Emmy in your hands is just name yourself Emmy. So for any of you thinking about changing your name to Oscar, go ahead and do it. Oh, Sandy wants to know, is there a trailer out for the film? No, Sandy, we just wrapped up filming, and of course we wrapped up in time for everyone to go be with their families for the holidays, and editing work will resume sometime in January. And even that, it's not as though there's any kind of big hurry. They'll get that all done in the next few months, and then probably cut a trailer, which is the first teaser that you can show distributors. Just show them, here's a quick peek at kind of a consolidation glance at the movie.
Correct. I'm thinking somewhere around May or June is probably when the trailer will be hitting.
Right.
Without giving any of it away, I'm going to make a statement. I think this movie is going to be a massive, massive hit. There's going to be moments in this movie where people cry. They're definitely
true.
At least one person.
And right. And then there's going to be a ridiculous amount of laughter.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, especially from people who were fans of the movie The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock.
That's a jab at me.
That's a little inside joke.
I don't get it.
A little inside joke.
I don't get it. Okay. I'm like, what? Okay.
No, we have a surprise moment at the end of the film that could or could not possibly have something to do with birds.
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
But it's a lot better than falling.
Yes. Bridget says it will be a holiday classic for all ages.
Okay, Bridget looks familiar. Who's Bridget? Why do I know Bridget? Is she the one that yells at everybody?
You figured it out.
That's Bridget. Hey, Bridget.
Quiet on set.
Quiet on the set.
You started yelling, and my cat is having an attitude right now.
I said, you're the one. She sat next to me at dinner. I said, you're the one that was yelling at everybody all day. She goes, I wasn't yelling. I was projecting.
Stage talk.
So I want to go back to the loop that I opened and see if we have any people that want to talk about that. Your feelings about New Year's resolutions, changes, affecting change in your life, this ridiculous notion that hoping, wishing, and wanting the next year to be a better year is all you're going to have to do. I got to tell you, there's more legwork involved than sitting around hoping. No great NFL coach said, okay, guys, listen, before we go through the tunnel, I just want you to know how much I hope we win. Because that's a coach that's going to get fired. And what I want you guys to spend some more time doing is, I don't care if you lift weights or anything or run any drills, but I would like you to increase your hoping by about 5%. It's an insane thought. So I want to hear some thoughts about this. Here's James is watching.
The Phantom of the Opera, ladies and gentlemen. James Barber.
And his resolution was what? That I can stay up to watch the show next time.
Yeah, he's on East Coast time. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Jay? I mean, I'll share my thoughts too, but Jay, I'd like to hear Jay's thoughts.
My thought is, if I think you said it. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing and expecting different results, which kind of goes along the same lines. If you want to progress in life, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and take a step forward maybe past the comfortable part. The comfortable part's where I think we tend to stay way too often. And for me, for example, that this year one of my goals is to lose a little more weight. Easier said than done, but I know the steps to do it. Now it's just a matter of me doing it. Yeah. And so I think that's along the line of what Glenn is saying.
Yeah, but have you noticed that knowing it doesn't make pounds go away?
It doesn't. I wish it did, man. I'd be skinny.
Man, exactly. If we all knew that, what we had to do, and we stopped at knowing, and we could achieve everything just by knowing it, then no action would ever need to be taken. But that's just not the reality.
Knowing, right? and the willingness to that you're gonna, I think they talk about no pain, no gain. I think that's true of a lot of things. You're going to have to take some risks. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. And in my case, I'm going to have to work out some of my muscles, and they're going to hurt. I mean, I think your mental muscles is the same thing. You're going to have to use your mind a little bit. You're going to have to use your comfort zone a little bit. You got to work them all a little bit. Get out of that same spot. You got to move.
Got to move. Action.
And can you bring up Paul's comment about 9%? I believe only 9% of people who actually make New Year's resolutions keep them. Most abandon them after 3 weeks. It's important at this time that I share that only 71% of all statistics are made up.
On this.
I love from Paul that it's 9. It's not 10. In no way is it 10. It is 9%. This is why I love Paul.
That is so funny. I do think that people, like, I know a lot of people that are just not focused and working this week right now, the week between Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
And I think, well, you and I were texting earlier, talking about doing the show tonight. And I thought, I am so busy this week, but I want to do this. I mean, I was working all the way up to the moment we got on here and started the show. So I don't get that. I set goals every single day and live one day at a time. And I have future goals, but I don't understand the mindset. I never have. It's always driven me crazy. People that say, oh man, next year, man, where it's right around the corner. I'm going to get after it. No, you're not. If you've ever said that, you're not going to get after it.
The single biggest epiphany, Ken, I know you know this. I don't know that Jay does. But the single biggest epiphany that paid me a visit, I call them whispers, and they are common to all people. But what is not as common is our adherence to them. I'm not being boastful. I'm being truthful. My TED talk was about this very subject, is adherence to the whispers. And it was called Whispers and Boomerangs. And boomerangs, of course, being that every action we take in our lives, we are placing our signature on the action, right? As we identify with this action, we're saying, here's my signature on it. I approve of this action. And we hurl it into the sky like a boomerang. And the reality is every choice we make operates exactly like a boomerang, and it circles back. This is the very definition of karma. But of the epiphanies that came my way, the whispers that I took time to write down this year, one was not only the best one of the entire year, but I'm prepared to say it might be the wisest whisper I've ever heard. And it certainly began changing lives. A few months ago, I started sharing it immediately. I was quite vocal about it. Went into Paul's room on Sabotage that he holds every Saturday on Clubhouse and spoke about it immediately. And I've certainly shared it with all of my students, but I want to share it with the room tonight and for anyone who is watching the replay of this at another time. So this epiphany visited me. The idea itself is not new, but the wording of it, which came in the form of a rhyme, is new. And I think it gives it some really strong staying power in your life. So here it is. I live my life in such a way that tomorrow I'm proud of my yesterday. I'll say it one more time. I live my life in such a way that tomorrow I'm proud of my yesterday. And instead of this just being a cutesy little rhyme, when you really think about it, every one of us make decisions every day, as in many. Um, the biggest decision being the decision to continue. That's the biggest decision. We make it every day to continue another day. And then the one as to whether or not we will be even given an opportunity to make that decision is made for us while we sleep, because we don't get to make that decision as to whether or not we will wake up. But once it has been decided for us that we will be given another day, and here we are and we're wide awake. Oh, you wrote it down. Thank you. I live my life in such a way that tomorrow, not I'll be proud. I live my life in such a way that tomorrow I'm proud of my yesterday. Right.
Tomorrow I'm proud of my yesterday. Okay.
Yes. That tomorrow I'm proud of my yesterday.
Got it.
I live my life in such a way that tomorrow I'm proud of my yesterday. So rhythmically, it just flows. So all I'm inviting everyone to do, and all I'm going to tell you, is it comes with a money back guarantee, because first of all, it didn't cost you any money. But the other is that it has a guaranteed result. And so here's the result. Before you make the decision this year, moving into this new year, before you make your next significant decision, just fast forward, get out of the new car smell of the decision. Does everyone know what I mean by that? The new car smell of the decision, like you're falling in love with the newness of it all. And so now you're more smitten by the idea. So you're still caught up in the love affair of the aroma of smittenness. I call it the new car smell of the moment. So instead of doing that, stop and actually teleport yourself to the backside of saying yes. And tomorrow, when you look back on what you said yes to today, does that feel good? Because you have such an edge when you wake up in the morning. You have such an edge if your first order of business is not to unravel yesterday and yesteryear off of yourself. You have such an edge if you wake up right here, right now, available for this moment. You're not upset with how you behaved last night. You're not upset with what you did last week that you've been lying about. We're not trapped in yesterday, or even worse, yesteryear. And sometimes those yesterdays, when not addressed, not only become yesteryear, but a lot of years, plural. And so we're entangled with so many yesteryears that there's no way we can possibly be present for this moment, because we're still hung up in our chronic opinionitis of who it was we were a year ago, 5 years ago. Maybe we never forgave ourselves because we divorced somebody and we don't feel good about that, or whatever it might be. Maybe you owed someone an I'm sorry. Maybe you owed them an I'm sorry. Maybe it would have been more correct for you to say, I deeply respect and admire you, and I love you. And instead, we waited till they died. And then we thought it would be a good idea to send them flowers to communicate that, which I think is called out of sequence, right? So instead of saying I love you when they're alive, you send them flowers when they're dead. And I'm not knocking sending someone flowers. What I'm saying is, do it while they're breathing. Whatever you're going to do, think in terms of a current relationship more than what your posthumous relationship is going to be with someone. So again, I'll say it one more time. I live my life in such a way that tomorrow I'm proud of my yesterday. This alone, and I should say adherence to it. And Daryl, just so you know, this is what I would have talked about at the commencement. This is what I was planning to talk about. So I will speak about this at next year's commencement. So Daryl runs a college in Southern California, and I have been his designated go-to guy for many, many years. And I couldn't make it this year, nor could he. Both of us had to do other things at that time, and COVID shut down the 2 previous commencement years. So I'll wrap this up very quickly. Again, I'd like to hear some thoughts on this. But listen, Ken, if I can take action in this moment to spare someone some pain, I want to help everyone watching this show. I want to help everybody in the world, for that matter. I'm a visionary. but I want to help all people have a better year simply by way of having made better decisions. And I'm offering you a methodology that will help you make better decisions. Just don't rush into the decision and stop and say, I sure seem to want this now. Is this something when I open my eyes up to tomorrow that I'm now trying to get over? I'm trying to get over how I feel about it. I'm trying to get over the crappy tone that I used, right? So the next time before you raise your voice at someone, the truth is you actually love very deeply. Quit giving yourself permission to do that in advance and start, being a rageaholic over people, but instead stop and realize I wouldn't want someone raging at me.
Right.
So how is it that I can approve of myself to rage at somebody else? Anyway, it's excellent thinking. I live my life in such a way that tomorrow I'm proud of my yesterday. You live by that and that alone, I will promise you a better 2023.
And that's a wrap. School is out. That's good. So true. I mean, it's so true.
Well, it certainly resulted in a silence.
We're soaking it in.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious what people are thinking in the chat, Ken.
They are loving this. Flowers are for the living. Love the words of wisdom. Thank yous are also for the moment.
Yeah. Thank yous. I love yous. I apologize. How can I be of service? These are all very elevated terms of not only endearment, but terms of engagement. They engage people. And I tell you what, that whoever came up with that phrase, pride goeth before a fall, seriously knew what they were talking about.
My wife and daughter are in Ohio right now visiting her mom. And we have, as you know, we have a small farm. I'm kidding. It's not a farm, but we have 2 dogs, a rabbit, and a fish.
I think that equals a farm.
And a cat. Oh yeah, the cat. But I called my wife tonight and I said, hey, I wanted you to know that, I miss you. I miss you guys. And she said, thank you. We miss you too. I said, do you want to stay another week? I'm just kidding. No, I did. No, I did not. No, I did not. She's probably watching, cussing at me now.
That's where that apology comes in right now.
She knows me. I did tell her. I said we all, the dogs, our dogs, my wife's dogs, I should say, literally sleep by the front door. It's crazy.
Bridget says, act with integrity and kindness, and you will have little to regret in life.
Amen.
Amen, indeed.
There are, I had a conversation with Glenn. You met Ramey. I had a conversation with him today, and there is a.
And you can shed some light on who Ramey is, so Jay is not left in the dark.
Ramey is a billionaire friend of mine that lives out in Hollywood Hills. Super amazing guy, and he's much like Glenn and I. He just wants to help people. Like he just wants to help people. I said to him, because we did this big Zoom thing yesterday, and 460 people registered to be on it. And I said, dude, I can't believe how many people registered to be on this. That's insane. And I was running the whole room and everything. And so it's the largest room of Zoom I've ever ran. And I said, you could monetize this. And he goes, how? What do you mean? I go, well, people they want to learn from you, and you could charge a monthly fee if you wanted. And he goes, I do $100 million deals. I don't care about their money. I just want to help them. I don't want to charge them. And I said, oh, okay, well, if you put it that way, then I guess,
And then Ken added, would it bother you, Ramey, if I charge them for you?
I did. I said, well, we could get them all to sign up for Grow Live Academy. And he just laughed. I said, I'm kidding. But, I think that, I had a conversation with somebody with him today about somebody that's posting stuff online, feeling like Ramey's trying to take from my group and it's not right. And like he's not trying to take from anybody's group. He's just offering, hey, I'll come and talk to me. I'll help you out if I can, And it's like saying Glenn and Ken are stealing from my people. Like, what? No, we're not. We come on, we do a show, and we help people.
That's but dude, listen, if somebody wants to have their feelings hurt, they're probably going to be successful in that endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
I find that most people walking around with their feelings hurt found a way to create that for themselves.
You're right. You're 1,000% right. You are right.
What did Robert say here? Back when I used to have breakfast with my mother on Saturday mornings, her cat Felix would know when I arrived and go to the door and start meowing as I walked from one of the visitor spots. Didn't seem to matter which one I parked at. I love it. Hey, Robert, good to see you.
Good to see you, Robert. It's beyond humbling. Well, thank you, Adam.
Adam is with us, my buddy Adam.
That's very, very kind to say.
I think one of the things I would add is I think we talked about this when you were here in Longview, Glenn, is it's whether you want to be right or have a relationship, but I think it kind of goes along the same line.
Yes, sir.
Far too often we worry about whether we're right. In most cases, it really doesn't matter. It's preferably, work on the relationship, and all that'll settle itself at a later time.
Look what I keep up here on my shelf now.
I see that. I see the pin.
Oh, that's awesome. You got a bowling pin.
I got a bowling pin.
Wow.
It's one of it actually is the only movie where I've ever been paid in bowling pins.
Well, it was a low budget, And we didn't tell you that the bowling alley gave those to us.
Hey, is that the one I signed?
Yes, probably.
And you know what? I found out. Here I am, 63, had no idea. Do you know this, Ken Walls? Do you know that bowling pins make amazing kindling? That you throw them in. I'm not joking. I learned this from Ray. He said you can throw them into your fire and they will burn for hours.
Really?
They give them away at the bowling alley. That some people come and get them for target practice.
Why do they give them away? Is there a lifespan on
there actually is a lifespan.
What?
Just like there's a lifespan on people who get beat up all day, every day. It's the same principle.
There are just some things in life you never put any thought into.
Imagine what if all day, every day you got hit in the head with a bowling ball. I mean, there's a lifespan there.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Dude.
They look pretty beaten up, I got to tell you.
Gives a whole new meaning to pinhead.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it only looks good from a distance because when you get up really close, you're like, wow.
You can see all the marks on it.
Not beaten out of them.
Wow. I guess I didn't really.
Hey, you know what? I don't think any audience in the history of television or the internet has been able to be up close and personal with a bowling pin.
Oh,
there we go.
We're going to change that.
We're going to give you full screen for this.
First of all, they're large.
They are.
Let's see if we can find Ken Wall's signature.
That might not be the one I signed. I saw a couple of bowling pins floating around. I only signed one.
Oh no, I didn't get
one.
That
may be the one I got. I'll have to go check it later.
So, but if you'll look, let's get it nice and close. I mean, look at this thing. This is
Kevin Farley. Wow.
There's Ray, right?
Yeah.
And Kevin Farley's signature is pretty big. He doesn't feel the need to include the V, I, or the N, just K Farley. And there's mine along with Kara Rayner's.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Kimberly Gail Williams, who played my first wife that walked out on me, so I'll be erasing her name soon.
Oh, that's
anyway. Funny. So that's what a signed bowling pin looks like. And I actually think, and Brooke Lyons, who played our daughter,
And Micah, I saw Micah up there.
And there's downtown Dodie Brown, who's one of the actresses in the film that came over from Shreveport. Yeah, you saw Micah Lyons. There's Micah. That's our producer.
And there's Jay Wall.
Wait, where's Jay's?
Right above Dodie.
I
have a doctor's signature, I guess. I don't sign my full last name. There it is.
There it is. Gotcha. Yeah, there's Jay's. Wow. Anyway, that's what a bowling pin, and that's the underside of a bowling pin. By the way, that's exactly what the butthole of a polar bear looks like. I just want to tell you.
That's uncanny resemblance. I don't know if I've ever been that close to one of those.
No, but I can only imagine that that's what one would look like.
Oh, my God. Bridget said, mine's under Micah, above Jay, on the bowling pin.
Where is Bridget's?
Let's see. Come on, show us.
Bridget, feel free to write more legibly, darling. Here, look.
Well, it's better than mine.
So Bridget's, I'm going to read it, is Bridget, come on. We want to see your name. You have beautiful writing. Let's see the whole name.
That's so funny.
She probably signed that after a day of calling Quiet on Set.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. So she does know how to project her voice.
She does. For those of you who run out of firewood this year, go to your nearest bowling alley.
Really?
And see if they will discard some bowling pins for you.
Yeah, I mean they end up throwing them away sometimes. So I mean, usually they give them away for free.
This is information I've never had until now. Wow.
Well,
wait, hold it. Did you guys learn that?
What?
You learned that because you rented out a bowling alley, though. You didn't know it prior to that.
I certainly didn't know this going in.
We learned that when we were getting a tour of behind the pins, the machines, and we saw all these boxes. Says, "Hey, what are those?" And he says, "Well, those are old pins. We give them away." And said, "Okay, we'll take some."
And the guy that was behind there looked like this, and he said, "Hey, you know, you can use these things to throw into your fire." And we went, "Thanks."
Oh my gosh. So, you know, Glenn does do this one character that I absolutely love. Have you ever seen? And ironically, the character's name is Jay.
No way. Now I got to see it.
His name really is Jay. Here's the deal. Jay loves meteorology. He loves the weather, and he lives in Nashville, Tennessee. And he moved there from Knoxville because he wanted to be closer to the station. But he called me and he goes, "Oh my God, I love the weather." He goes, "I just love weather every day. Every day it's different. It changes." And now that I'm part of the weather team, I get to talk about those changes on the air every day. So yeah, it's a friend of mine named Jay Mercer. He's a cool dude. He also is one of those people that feels the need to identify himself when he's calling me, as though I have an abundance of Jay Mercers in my life. I know immediately when it's him. Hey, Adam. Happy end of 2022 to you, brother.
Who is
the best bowler out of the three? I don't know the answer to that.
Well, Glenn's a pretty good bowler.
Glenn is he is. I may or may not have had a couple, 2 or 3 or 5 gutters.
Well, Glenn had a couple gutters too. We'll have to. I'll put that out there.
Oh,
but he did bowl for 5 days. I mean, we were doing nothing but bowling for 5 days. So
it's interesting when you haven't bowled, because I'm a good bowler, but a good bowler needs to practice, because when I got back on the lane, I haven't thrown a ball it's got to be 10 years. And I remember the first few tosses I was going, this hurts. And it was hurting my fingers and hurting my back.
Well, that and the balls that we were using probably weren't the right size for you either.
Yeah, that's true.
We were using house balls.
Great to see you guys sharing. I haven't listened in a year or so. I'm not sure how I've missed your show. Wow. Well, thankfully,
Well,
Bridget, we got those strikes on camera.
Yeah, we've got lots of good strikes on camera. That was fun.
Hey, Ken, why
Yeah.
don't you share that video you shot since it's still the holidays?
The video I shot.
The video of us singing by the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that video I shot.
I think it'll warm everyone's holiday beverage cup.
I think you are.
Sandy
As the
has only gone
fun-
bowling 3 times in her life. Wow.
Correct, Mundo. Hang on, I'm opening the. Let me find it. Oh yeah, it's only 1 minute and 11 seconds long. So,
All right, I'm
It
going to
needed
send this
to be
little cup of holiday joy out to all of you. This is right after we finished filming the final scene of the movie. It's not the final scene in the movie, but it was the final scene we shot. Kara and I took a walk because I so enjoyed singing next to her since we are a couple in the movie. I loved her voice, and we were harmonizing this, but it was in a large group, so we decided to go sing Silent Night, just the two of us. So here's Silent Night.
well, hold on, we're not there yet. My wife
or
texted
not.
me. I had to text my
I'm
wife.
sorry, what I
back.
meant to say is here is extremely Silent Night. So much so that you're not going to hear it at all.
They're gonna.
There's Silent Night, and then there's extremely Silent Night.
Oh my Lord, have mercy! That is so like
Jay, Ken, and I used to do several of these a week, and we had our standing date with Scott McCain doing the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott, and we did it every Sunday for a year.
Oh, nice.
Sunday evenings.
Yeah.
We had a set time slot and everything, and a nice following. It was a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
Well, you guys seem like you have a good time on the show.
Well, we love each other.
That was very obvious from the day I met Ken.
And unashamedly love each other. We're pretty crazy about each other.
Well, that's good.
We are.
Here we go.
With an emphasis on the crazy part.
Wow. I mean, that's what makes it fun.
Here
Enjoy,
we go.
everyone.
Holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child. Oh, infant, so tender and mild, sleeping heavenly peace, sleeping heavenly peace.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
You know what I love more than anything is Kara's irreplaceably toothsome grin. Right at the very end of that, she goes, "It's so beautiful."
Yeah, she started to applaud too, and I cut it off right there. I should have captured that moment.
Well, a more experienced cinematographer would have done that.
Yes, that's true. I hate. Hold it, Jay, you're muted. Jay, you're muted. I'm sorry. I had to mute you. There was a clicking sound I was picking up. Unmute yourself down at the somewhere. Somewhere you unmute yourself.
It may have
There
been
you
me.
go.
May have been me doing the clicking. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. I was gonna say, hey, could you pretend for a moment that we are? What's that called when they're getting the room sound?
Room toned.
Yeah.
Room tone.
Yeah.
And anyway, yeah, that was a beautiful. So I walked out. I was actually going out to look for the bathroom, and I come around the corner and they're finishing singing that. And I stood there listening to the last 10 seconds and I went, you guys have to do that again. I got to go get my phone. I'll be right back. And they're like, go get it. And it was amazing. I was like, that is unbelievable. It really was amazing.
Bridget is yelling at us silently. Did you see that?
I don't say.
We ripped up. She's so good at that too. Oh my gosh, she's good at
Bridget, how are you, honey? How have you been since we wrapped up? Oh,
yeah,
thank you, Adam.
I'll tell you something. That was my first experience. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, it's a good group of people. It really was.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to finish our last scene at my church. That was pretty cool.
How was your Christmas Eve service, Jay?
It was wonderful. They even had me get up and read something, which I'm not real comfortable doing, but it was nice.
You read at the service?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was a nice candlelight service. It really
What
was.
did you read? Did you read a Christmas story of some sort or a verse?
Yeah,
or what did you read?
they had it broken down into 7 pieces, and I read the part where Mary was being visited by the angel.
And did you do that at the early service or the late night?
I did the 6:30 one.
Yeah. I would have driven out there to be with you, but we had family that had come into town. And I didn't know they were coming in when I saw you, and I made a mental note. That's why you heard me asking Greg when the service was, because I thought it would be fun to surprise you and just show up.
Oh, he would have loved
it. We
it.
had family come in from Atlanta, and they just left today. So we stayed put here instead.
And it was pretty full service too, which the early candlelight services usually are because people tend to come a little earlier.
Yeah.
So it was a nice service.
That's awesome.
Do most of the churches there have a Christmas Eve service?
The Methodist Church tend to, and there were some other churches that were also having candlelight service. I don't know about all of them. I know my dad's church, they didn't have anything that Saturday or Sunday, but they're a small church, and the pastor went to see family somewhere. So it really depends on the size of the church, I think.
Right. Daryl, can you highlight Daryl's comment? So Daryl's asking about the name of the film. The current working title is called Grumpy Old Santa, and it is a story about so many things, really about the seasons of life. A couple that is facing being empty nesters who divorce shortly after their daughter heads off to go to college, and it's about the attempts made to get on with life and to speak the truth about what you're feeling with a best friend. So it has elements of everything from tears to laughter to truth to triumph to reconciliation to healing to rebirth to new birth, all of that. I think it's got a little something for everybody, frankly. And I think that's a good thing. Someone will find something redeeming about it. Everyone will find something in it that speaks to them.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. Sandy played the Virgin Mary in high school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Proclaimed to fame. I know a lot of people who played virgins in high school, but most of them really weren't.
Oh my God.
I just want to mention that the whole performance of being a virgin was pretty common in high school. Not to take anything away from you, Sandy. I'm sure that yours was the real deal, but I was just looking for a cheap laugh.
She was looking forward to this movie until
my stupid comment, and now Sandy and I are on the outs. I don't believe it. Sandy's my friend. She's not.
That is so funny.
She said, I set myself up for that.
Oh, that is so funny. Holy crap. Glenn knows no filters.
Well, and I do. I just often
know.
don't choose to use them unnecessarily. I think filters should be used sparingly.
That was hilarious. That was funny.
Hey, Bud, I need to skedaddle. I just wanted to sort of tease the audience a little bit tonight and let them know that Ken and Glenn do not, we're not done. And I'm offering a little resurrection here, my brother.
I love it, man.
I'd like to do some excessive Ken and Glenn outings in 2023. Now that we're not stuck in our caves and we're out interacting with people.
Yeah.
I think it's a lovely thing.
I remember driving around Nashville and you were holding the phone. I was driving, but we did a live stream from my car.
Yes.
In Nashville.
I have a feeling Kevin Farley would be a guest on your show.
I believe you would too.
I would love to have, and Jay needs to be on my show. Jay.
Okay.
Love to have you on. I'll send you the scheduling link, Jay. Would love to have you on.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I started the show almost 5 years ago now, and I started the show to help people get unstuck. And I literally was going to call the show Getting Unstuck. And my wife, being the marketing genius that she is, said, well, why wouldn't you use your last name and call it Breakthrough Walls? I was going to do that one. It was either or. But I you know, it's really what I've discovered.
Way to go, Jill.
I know. What I've discovered is everybody has a story, man. And just the little bit of time you and I hung out with Jay, Jay, talking over by the pond when they were doing the truck scene. Should I have said that? Whoops. Anyway,
that's fine.
But you know, you've got a story. I mean, you're a successful business person. I know that if you own a business, you've been through the ups and downs of owning a business.
Roller coaster ride.
Yeah. And so it's just about, I get people to come on and tell their story, their life story. Like, where were you born and raised is where it starts. And we just go from there. And I love doing it. I love listening to people's stories and hearing how they overcame all the crap and you know, came out on top. So I think you'd be a great guest.
Thank you. I'll try to sign up for it.
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Awesome. And let's get Kevin Farley
to have a Sprite.
Huh?
I just want to announce I'm going to go have a Sprite or a 7-Up.
What about Whataburger?
No Whataburger at this time of night.
They're open 24 hours a day, Glenn.
I know, but I haven't had a 7-Up. I've had like one all year, and I'm in one of those kind of moods where only a Sprite or a 7-Up will suffice.
Well, can you remind the audience what you said at the church about God, country, and Whataburger? Is that what it was?
Well, that God is the first priority of my life, and then right afterward is Whataburger. Right? My priorities are there, but they're, and it's pretty close. I'm very reverential with regard to my feelings about Whataburgers, especially since I discovered the new Patty Melt.
Oh, they're good, right?
Oh man,
they'll hurt you.
Are they?
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, the Patty Melt is the deal.
There's a Whataburger 17 minutes from where I'm sitting. Just saying. And I know they're
says God, Whataburger, then family. I'm pretty sure that's the correct priority.
Yeah, but there's something you like more when it comes to fast food joints. Jersey Mike's.
You're talking about Chipotle?
Jersey Mike's.
Oh, Jersey.
No. I'm
No.
a former Jersey Mike, man. Jersey Mike's laid me out.
Oh, what happened?
Have you not? Don't you remember that I was laid out with food poisoning?
Oh,
And it was a Jersey Mike's outing because this particular, I don't want to badmouth all Jersey Mike's. I'm sure they're good. I ate at them for a couple of years. But the Jersey Mike's that I ran into in Savannah, Georgia, seemed to feel the need to, well, how can I put this? They didn't feel the need to refrigerate their mayo. Why would you want to do that? Why
Wow.
wouldn't you want to leave your mayonnaise out?
oh,
And
no.
it humbled me. Raise your hand out there in Ken and Glenn land if you've ever had food poisoning. Food poisoning is one of the most unpleasant things on the planet. Now, the good news is it tends to not last more than about a day. But for that day, you'll spend most of the day wishing you were dead. And it was in the middle of the shoot. And I had the day off, but this was when I was doing Panhandle. And they needed me to go down to wardrobe for a fitting for something I was wearing the following day. And I called and I said, with apologies, let me describe this because I want to get really visual with it. So I'm in bed in Savannah and I'm looking over at my bathroom, which I very much need to get to like now, right? Some of you have had those now alerts, like not in 30 seconds, but now. And you look in the bathroom, which is 6 feet away, 6 to 8 feet, and no exaggeration, it feels like it's a mile from my bed. A mile.
Oh my God.
Because I'm looking at it and I'm questioning, can I make it there? I'm talking about that kind of sick. Where you're doubled over and you're shaky and you're freezing.
Yeah.
and you get there and you strain to turn on the water. And so I turned on the water in the tub and I spent the next 10 hours in the tub because I couldn't move. I was hurting so badly. And it's the only time in my life when I've experienced this. So for those of you who don't have a significant other in your life, I feel for you because I just learned what it's like for the first time in my life to be sick with no one to help me. Because I'm in a town where I don't know anybody and there's no one to call. And all I did was lay there and feel horrific. But I did text our department and said, I cannot be at the wardrobe fitting. It's humanly impossible. So fortunately, 24 hours later, it blew through. But yeah, I picked that one up from Jersey Mike's.
Oh, so yeah, we're not going there.
Not to that one anyway.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, just check on their mayo. Has anyone ever spent an entire night in a bathtub? I'm curious.
No,
Not an
Am I
entire.
the only one?
I've never done that.
Okay.
Wow.
I've known of people who spent more than a night, but that's because they were dead. but I lived through it.
Can I, before we end
Oh
this,
wait,
Glenn,
Randy's saying yes, absolutely. She has spent more than a night in bed or in a bathtub.
before we end this, I want to tell a quick little story. It's one that you have heard, Glenn, because you were actually there.
Why would you tell this story when mine was so uplifting?
I want, because I think that we need to end it on.
Because we were going downhill.
So we were in Longview, Texas, and Glenn asked me to run by his house before I came out to pick up something. His wife was going to give it to me, and I was going to head out and deliver this thing. And so I get to his house and knock on the door, and Carolyn comes out, and she said, "I'm going to go with you." I said, "Oh, okay, cool." So we get in the car, we're heading out, and Carolyn's phone rings. And she goes, "Oh shit, it's Glenn." She does. I'm sure it's the only time she's ever thought to say that, but she says
No,
that.
whenever she's with another man, she answers and goes, "Oh shit, it's Glenn."
That is so funny, dude. So she answers, and I'm in the meantime, I have the GPS going on my phone. It's talking through the cards, and I, you don't think of the GPS is going to tell you to turn right at the next stop sign, and so it starts to talk, and I'm like, shut up, and I'm trying to, and she's, because we're trying to like surprise Glenn.
She's trying to create the illusion that she's still home.
Yes. And so even my turn signal, I didn't use it at a very critical spot. And I was like, I really need to use the turn signal because there's cops back there, I think. But I'm going to risk it and not use the damn turn signal because we don't need Glenn going, it kind of almost sounds like you're in a car.
Have we had a turn signal installed in our house?
So, and I'm thinking all of this stuff. Meanwhile, she's talking and you guys are talking about whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. And so you asked her to, or you needed something. So she's like, go back to the house. I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm like, hold it. Where's the house? I'm thinking, oh my God. And she's like, no, turn right. And I'm like, okay, hold on. I'll pull it up on the GPS. And I pull your house up on the GPS again. And it starts talking again. I'm like, so
guys
anyway.
fooled me though, because I had no idea.
You had no idea. It was
You could see it in my eyes when I turned around and saw her there. I was shocked.
Totally. You about crapped. But anyway, so later that night we're having dinner and we're at a Texas
Outback.
And we walk in and Glenn walks up and gives his name and they're like, okay, it's about a 40-minute wait. I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. So we sit down and I go, Glenn, I think it's time we use the Hollywood superstar movie star thing, man. Like 40 minutes at a freaking steakhouse in Longview, Texas. Come on, man. And he goes, don't. And I go, hold on. I look over at the host station and Glenn, the guy's like looking over at Glenn, and he's looking back. And he's looking over at Glenn, he's looking back, and he's got his phone. I go, that dude recognizes you, man. And Glenn's like kind of ignoring me and the situation. I go, he's Googling you, dude. He's Googling you on his phone. Glenn is so freaking cool about it. Obviously, it's happened thousands of times, but I've never seen it happen. So the guy's Googling Glenn. I could tell. And then the guy walks over and he goes, excuse me. And I'm like, told you, I knew it. And he goes, Glenn, and he puts his hand out. He goes, I just want to say it's a great pleasure meeting you. And Glenn goes, oh, nice meeting you. And
Ken is sitting there going, is there any way this joy could translate into us being seated? I mean, it's great that you know the guy and everything, but what about us dining at a quicker pace?
I said, well, that comes in a minute. So Glenn goes, where do you know me from? He goes, oh, I just finished the whole video game, Call of Duty video game, and blah, blah, blah. And they talk for a minute. And I go, hey, could I ask a question? He goes, sure. And I go, can you check that list and see if you can change that 40-minute wait number to something way sooner?
Maybe check it even twice and see if you can find out who's been naughty or nice.
He says he didn't even say anything. He just went over to the station thing and
magically they had a seat available.
A couple minutes later. Like it literally was not even 2 minutes. It was crazy. And then everybody's walking up. Like this other kid that worked there walks up and he goes, Glenn's in mid bite of a steak and he's taking a bite and the kid walks up and Glenn looks at him. He goes, I hate to be this guy, but
not so much that it wouldn't allow him to be that guy. Didn't hate it that much.
He said that. I hate to be this guy, but could I get a picture? And he literally has his phone like this. He's like getting ready to take a selfie with Glenn and Carolyn and me in the background. And Glenn goes, hey, I'm happy to take a picture with you when I'm done eating, and I'll get up and we'll take a good picture. But can you wait till I'm finished eating? And the kid's like, it's like all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah. And so then later this couple comes up and they're like, the wife extends her hand to Glenn, and this was touching. It literally brought tears to my eyes. She says, Glenn, I just want to thank you for all of the years of amazing entertainment you've brought into our home. And I was like, oh, come on. This has to stop right now. Cause I was like ready to cry, and her husband shakes his hand, find out it's the chief of police and Kilgore. Yeah. The chief of police and his wife from
who then turned around and attended our movie shoot a week later when we were doing the Christmas Eve service. There they were in the church pews.
They were there?
Yes.
I didn't see them.
They were sitting right behind me.
Oh my gosh. I did not see them. So they were sitting right behind me.
I always love the comfort of having a guy directly behind me with a pistol. No, he was a good dude.
Yeah, they were all. It was just
a good dude.
So incredible.
Hey, Sandy, this is a private moment between Sandy and myself. She said she didn't want to talk about it, so I'm not going to ask her about her experience in the tub. But the fact that she doesn't want to talk about it confirms for me that she totally gets why I was in the tub. The fact that she does not want to talk about it says everything. So, Sandy, thank you for your compassion. Thank you for your understanding. And yes, my dear, I'm sure we had the same thing occurring for both of us.
Wow.
That is a rotten feeling. So I hope none of you experience food poisoning. In fact, I hope this is the healthiest year of your life, all of you.
Amen.
How about that? There's my wish for everyone's 2023.
Amen.
May it be a healthier year, but not because you got lucky, but because you became very intentional about it. And you decided, I'm going to take the steps required to have it be a better year. And you'll have a better year. You will have a better year, but only by doing that.
Totally.
All right, Ken, I'm going to go get a soda. Jay, I love you, brother. Good to see you again.
Love you too.
What are you doing for your New Year? You just chilling at the lake?
Got my family coming over. Going to have a little New Year's party.
Nice.
Got nothing to do? Come on.
When the weather is a little better, can I bring Mr. Walls out with me to the lake?
Absolutely.
He would enjoy seeing your place.
Hey, I'll be out Saturday, Jay. I want to see this party.
Well, come on. 7:38. This is when we'll start.
All right. God bless you guys.
Hey, don't leave yet. I got to play the outro.
Oh, that's right. So hang on, Jay. I want you to see this. Hang on.
Okay.
And then Ken will have you come into our private room here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Good night. Love you all. Thank you all for being here, and have a blessed and happy New Year. Stay safe.
Happy New Year.